Hey guys, K420 back at it again. I'm quite irrational and sporadic when it comes to posting. It has a lot to do with how I feel when I watch the news in the morning. If I feel like it's something I absolutely have to speak my mind about, or if I be just wasting my breath for the day. But since going back to the beginning of my YouTube days, I have reported on this perverted man who hung himself in his jail cell. Okay. Anyhow, this perverted pedophile billionaire, and the 17-year-old Virginia Roberts at the time, now Giuffre, who basically has taken him down, and slowly but surely, her and her lawyer, boys, damn Dave boys, Dan boys, uh, are taking down the elite one by one. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And when asked why she was suing Prince Andrew, which that's what obviously the title is, she said, because it's long been time for the people with money and power to realize that they don't have the right to just break the law. And they need to be held accountable as well. And amen to that. So we're going to talk about this little lawsuit. I'm going to have to be a little bit discreet on the words, or so just not even monetization has been a long ago thing for me. I don't get super chats when I do a live. Even when I get them, I mean, like when you guys give them to me, I don't get them from YouTube. I have not got a single cent from YouTube, and I've been monetized for over a year. So tell me, I'm not the only one. I know that for a fact. Way bigger creators than me are also not getting paid. So what I'm worried about is them taking my video down after I spend all this time putting it together for you. So I'm going to be a little bit discreet. I'm going to try to use some cover words here. But the Sun isn't the greatest source of news. I've got a couple other ones, but I think that they put it the most accurately. Nowhere to hide. Prince Andrew, royal can't ignore court over Virginia Giuffre rape claims. Yes, rape claims. We're going to get to that. I have the actual court filing. Stick around for a few minutes. We're going to go over that. Prince Andrew can no longer hide behind wealth and will face court over the rape claims against him, it has been claimed. Does anybody wonder why suddenly this, yeah, David Boyes, that's the lawyer's name, why suddenly this has come out now? What the timing has to do with anything? Well, I mean, Epstein's dead, and Ghislaine is in jail cutting deals to tell on whoever. Virginia knows that she needs to keep going with this if her and the rest of these victims want any justice. So the next person to get discovery on to prove that this thing was what it was, which is a intercontinental sex trafficking ring of children, Prince Andrew, the case against Prince Andrew has to be made. And I totally agree. So, of course, he fiercely denies any allegations, just as well as he does not sweat. They're concerned how the case is being handled by Andrew Legal's team. They're said to share a growing frustration at the tactics of silence from the Duke of sorry. I'm looking here. Hold on. The shock comments from his brother came after reports that Andrew may also lose his royal title over this lawsuit. Oh, here we go. It says they're said to share a growing frustration of tactics of silence from the Duke since the lawsuit was filed in New York on Monday. The family find themselves in an extraordinarily difficult and sensitive situation given the nature of the allegations, well, especially since Harry and his wife are living here in the U.S. Why isn't anybody standing outside their door? Where's the media outside Prince Harry who is the nephew of this, this man. They could be asking him a ton of questions, but they won't because they get privileges, even though they're not royalty anymore. Let's see. They're limited in what they can say publicly, and now that the Duke of York is no longer a working royal, they are actually rather limited in what control they can exert over the situation privately. And it says they made multiple attempts to contact Prince Andrew. And it says since 2015, and I know that for a fact because the FBI reported that they had attempted to get him to come over for questioning, and he didn't. Cressida Dick says Matt will have another look at the materials. Oh, Dame Cressida told Nick Ferrari, "No one is above the law. It's been reviewed twice before. We've worked closely with CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, and we are, of course, open to working with authorities overseas. As a result of what's going on, I've asked my team to have another look at the material. Prince Andrew's sex abuse lawsuit scandal is seen as an unsolvable problem by the royals." Yeah, it's time to let him go. Time to let him go under the bus on which he decided to lay under. All right, so here is the main gist of this lawsuit. Let me go back up here. I was reading it. Hang on. Back up to page 2. Boom. Oh, one more. Here we go. So the nature of the action. Here, drink before we go through this one. Oh, I guess my camera doesn't pop up on here, guys. Okay, so the nature of the action is 1. The suit arises out of defendant's sexual abuse of plaintiff when she was under the age of 18. 2. During 2000 to 2002, beginning when plaintiff was 16, plaintiff was the victim of sex trafficking and abuse by convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein's trafficking scheme involved recruiting young girls, often by claiming they would be paid $200 for simply providing a massage to a wealthy billionaire. The same pattern was repeated numerous times with countless children and young women. U.S. District Judge Kenneth Mara found that between 1999 and 2007, Jeff Epstein sexually abused more than 30 minor girls at his mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, and elsewhere in the U.S. and overseas. In addition to his own sexual abuse, Epstein directed other persons to abuse the girls sexually. Epstein used paid employees to find and bring minor girls to him. Epstein worked in concert with others to obtain minors not only for his own sexual gratification, but also for the sexual gratification of others. And then, Like other minor children who came before and after her, plaintiff was initially recruited to provide massages and thereafter to engage in a variety of sex acts for Epstein. Plaintiff was required to be on call for Epstein for sexual purposes and frequently traveled with him both nationally and internationally. Plaintiff was regularly abused by Epstein and was lent out by Epstein to other powerful men for sexual purposes. One such powerful man to whom the plaintiff was lent out to for sexual purposes was defendant Prince Andrew, Duke of York. Prince Andrew was a close friend of Ghislaine Maxwell, a British socialite who spent years overseeing and managing Epstein's sex trafficking network and actively recruited underage girls, including the plaintiff. According to Prince Andrew, he met Epstein through Maxwell in 1999. Prince Andrew thereafter became a frequent guest in Epstein's various homes around the world, including New York City, where he sexually abused the plaintiff at Epstein and Maxwell's invitation when she was a minor. After publicly feigning ignorance about the scope of Epstein's sex trafficking operation and sympathy for Epstein's victims, Prince Andrew has refused to cooperate with the U.S. authorities in their investigation. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Just I had to start using the arrows instead of the roller. There we go. Um, Sexually assault. Okay, Prince Andrew committed sexual assault and battery upon the plaintiff when she was 17 years old. As such, Prince Andrew is responsible for battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress pursuant to New York common law. The damage to plaintiff has been severe and lasting. So here it is, guys. They're using this New York law that Cuomo put in here, I think back in 2019, basically giving survivors of sexual abuse an opening to where if their statutes of limitations had been already past time for them to be able to hold their abusers accountable. They basically had this little bit of time that Cuomo made for this law to be open where they could come in and file lawsuits against their accusers. It had to do mostly a lot to do with the church and victims of the church. But that law or the ability to utilize that law closes down on Saturday. Saturday. So Virginia Giuffre cut this very close, and I think she felt like she had no other option in order to get Prince Andrew to acknowledge what he's done or to have him um, be held accountable for what he's done. This action has been timely filed pursuant to the Child Victims Act, which is what I think I was just talking about. Committed when the child was less than 18. She suffered physical, psychological, and other injuries as a result. And then just who the parties are and where they currently live. In the venue, I don't think. And so it goes into a whole thing of factual allegations. Epstein's trafficking empire. Like most of that is stuff we just read, and it goes into even more about the sex trafficking enterprise, and it was set to face trial and so forth. And it talked about where she recruited the girls from, types of places that she would recruit them from, spas, schools, gyms, so on and so forth. Girls that would want were already trying to be professional masseuses. Let's see. Ooh, I went too far, too far. Hang on. Look at all that. Epstein, oh, come on, stop. Between 2000 and 2002, Epstein sexually abused plaintiff at numerous locations, including his mansion in this district at 9 East 71st Street, New York 10021. He also flew plaintiff on his plane nationally and internationally numerous times when she was under 18. Only portions of the flight logs of Epstein's private planes have yet been recovered. And this shows, however, the chart below shows plaintiff flights on Epstein's private planes from limited logs that are available, illustrates the international scope of his sex trafficking. Yeah, this is just a very small log of flights that she was on with him to all these different countries. After years of abuse, Epstein sent plaintiff to Thailand in 2002. One of the plaintiff's assignments from Epstein was to bring a young girl back to the United States for Epstein, fearing for her life and not wanting to subject another girl to abuse. Plaintiff fled from Thailand to Australia to escape from Epstein. And then it just goes, it goes on and on about the birthday party that Maxwell threw for Prince Andrew's 40th birthday at her house. How Prince Andrew then invited Epstein to his daughter's 18th birthday party, despite Epstein being charged with procuring a minor for prostitution only 4 weeks earlier. Prince Andrew has confirmed that he has been on Epstein's private plane, stayed at his private island, stayed in Epstein's homes in Palm Beach, Florida, and New York, New York. Members of the House staff have confirmed witnessing Andrew visit Epstein's numerous homes, both to media and in sworn testimony. Now it goes on to the abuse of the plaintiff. And it talks about how she, as a child, during this encounter, Epstein, Maxwell, and Prince Andrew forced plaintiff to have sexual intercourse with Prince Andrew against her will. The below picture depicts Prince Andrew, plaintiff, and Maxwell at her home prior to Prince Andrew abusing her. The famous picture. Boy, don't they all look happy? That if she just doesn't even realize, she thinks she's just taking a picture with a famous person. She probably knows at that point what's going to happen. But still, um, during the encounter, Maxwell forced plaintiff, a child, and another victim to sit on Prince Andrew's lap as Prince Andrew touched her. One second. Hello. All right, sorry guys, I had to answer the phone. Oh, I don't know why I just did that. All right, still working. There we go. All right, sorry guys, I had to answer the phone. I'm waiting for an important call. I didn't expect it. Of course, it's spam. Anyway, back to the nonsense here. On another occasion, Andrew sexually abused plaintiff on Epstein's private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Little St. James. During each of the aforementioned incidents, the plaintiff was compelled by express or implied threats by Epstein, Maxwell, and or Prince Andrew to engage in sex acts with Prince Andrew and feared death or physical injury to herself or another, and other repercussions for disobeying Epstein, Maxwell, and Prince Andrew due to their powerful connections with wealth and authority. Oops. Damn it. Why does it do that? There. Okay. Then now it probably won't be so damn slow. Then again, you never know. During each of the app here, hang on. During each of the aforementioned incidents, Andrew acted with intent to compel the plaintiff's submission. He engaged in each of the aforementioned sexual acts with the plaintiff at Epstein and Maxwell's invitation, knowing that she was a sex trafficking victim being forced to engage in sexual acts with him. Plaintiff did not consent to engaging in sexual acts with Prince Andrew. During each of these incidents, Prince Andrew knew the plaintiff's age based on communications from Epstein and Maxwell. Damn fucking sorry. I'm so sick of this damn mouse. Anyway, during each of the aforementioned incidents, Prince Andrew sexually abused plaintiff. Now where to go? For the purposes of gratifying his sexual desires. During each of the aforementioned incidents, Prince Andrew was acting in his individual personal capacity. What else? The arrest, prosecution, and death of Epstein and Prince Andrew's refusal to cooperate with the authorities, like we just touched on that. After Epstein died, Andrew came out and publicly was like, "Oh, I'll help," Um, a sexual predator. I'm an offender. Oh, geez. It's the difference between a murderer and a person who steals a vehicle, says Epstein. It's wow. Epstein flippantly referred to his sexual abuse of multiple minors and the slap on the wrist he received for it in a 2011 interview with the New York Post. Billionaire pervert Jeffrey Epstein is back in NYC and making wisecracks about his just ended jail stint for having sex with an underage girl. I'm not a sexual predator. I'm an offender, the financier told the Post. It's the difference between a murderer and a person who steals a bagel. Bullshit. Wow. Oops. Stop. All right. Hang on here. Epstein was found dead. Okay, yeah, arrested on a sealed indictment. It just basically takes us step by step to where we got until now, and how Andrew basically fought the whole way. Zero cooperation. They've got zero cooperation. This is just the intentional infliction of emotional distress. This is the second cause of action. I think we can all figure out how she was caused emotional distress without me reading it out for us all. So, really quickly before I end this, well, let me come over here with the camera. There we go. Apparently, times haven't changed much because Prince Andrew ran right to his ex, Sarah Ferguson, and his daughter, who showed up there too, at Balmoral Castle amid the lawsuit filed by Virginia. And it says photos online obtained by Mail Online showed Queen Elizabeth II's son driving a Range Rover to the Scottish estate where the monarch is residing for the rest of the summer. The Duchess of York sat in the back seat of the car. Andrew and Ferguson, 61, were married from 86 to 96 and shared two daughters, Princess Beatrice and Eugenie. Whatever challenges he has, I will stand firm to the co-parenters we are together. I believe he's a kind, good man and has been a fabulous father. Oh, God, wait till they find out what kind of man their father really is. The perverted things he's done. Anyway, I don't see anything that we haven't already read in the court report, other than that his ex-wife was there to hold. I know the royals are definitely pissed at him, and I think their way of answering to everything is going to be to toss him out on his ass and let him literally be. Whatever happens to him, and they're just going to stay out of it. They're going to say, okay, like, we've covered for you enough. So, it's not like she just came out with this, guys. Like, when she filed her original lawsuit against Epstein in Florida, she brought up Prince Andrew. How do you think that name's been out there connected to Jeffrey Epstein for so long? From her. So, she was one of the most used victims. She was one of the ones that, because her mother basically didn't care, and her father, and mother and father, I don't think they were together, but I know that her mother wasn't a great mom, and so she fell for Ghislaine's whole, I want your daughter to live with me, and I'm going to put her in a great school so that she can have a better life than you could ever give her. And of course, the mother fell for that. I don't know how much money she was given just, to let Virginia come live with Ghislaine and Epstein, but it did. Virginia lived with them, I believe, from 16 or 17 on. So, but it looks like the accountability man is coming, and the blind lady of justice is ready to make some serious rulings against the royals. I guess we'll be talking about this one for a while. I got videos to make, so come back and watch them whenever you hear it on the news. I'll always report on Epstein stuff. That's something I've been doing since 2007. All right, guys, have a good day. Peace.